Guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Today I'm going to be doing a first impressions swatches, this look that I have on today of the new Juvia's Place Afrique palette. I recently picked this up from Ulta online. It wasn't supposed to get here until September, but it came to Ulta early, so I grabbed it. And so this is $20 at Ulta. You can use your $3.50 off coupon or 20% off if you have one. And if you place it online with other things, $50 or over, you get free shipping. If you're a Diamond Reward member, $25 and over, you get free shipping. So I got free shipping on this, plus it was 5 times the points when I purchased it. So I really ended up with a good deal on this palette. One thing I really like about this palette is that it has got smaller pots of shadow and more of them. So like these, the Zulu palette and the Festival palette have got the bigger pans in them, and they're like $22 or $25. This one has got the smaller, more shades, and it's $20. So I would prefer this over this because I'm never going to hit pan on any of these. I've got so many different colors of eyeshadow. I'm never going to hit pan on any of my colors, I'm sure. But I don't know. This doesn't necessarily have a color story to it, but I was drawn to the colors, and I think I'm going to be able to create some really colorful looks with it. I do really like the look that I created today. And you don't always have to have a color story. You can pull in from other palettes, or you can create a colorful look that doesn't necessarily all match in colors as well. So while I do like a color story from my palette, I also like having just fun shades that I can play with as well. So yeah, we are going to do some swatches today. Then I'm going to do this look, and then I'm going to give you a little mini first impressions review of what I think about it so far. Before we get started, don't forget to enter my back to school giveaway, and forgive me when I'm trying to pronounce the names of these shades. Let me show you guys up close. I can't pronounce most of those names, so I tried my best when I was doing swatches, but I probably butchered a lot of them. So let's go ahead and get started with the swatches. Starting with row 1, we have Côte d'Ivoire, Dacre, Niger, and Togo. It's row 1. For row 2, we have Bintuo, Cotonou, Aya, and Cameroon. That's row 2. And for row 3, we have Angelique, Kisi, Fifi, and Kofi. So that is row 3. And here are all the swatches from the Afrique palette. Okay, so just to chat a little bit about some of the swatches, it's really always hard to do swatches when you can't pronounce the names. That makes it very difficult. These names are very hard to pronounce, and I am sure that I did not say them all accurately. But I do want to take a look at the shimmers. So it looks like we've got this one and this one could almost be kind of foiled, and then we've got some shimmers here. And I would say they perform just like all other Juvia's Place. That was awful, wasn't it? How am I supposed to talk about that? They perform very similar to all other Juvia's Place shimmers. And I would say some of the mattes need a little building up. So let's just look at this one and see if we can build that up some. This was Bentu, and this is the first one in the second row. So you can for sure build that up, and I'm going to do the same with Dacre here. So it almost seems like some of these need a little more building up than other Juvia's Place palettes, but when I do some eye looks, I'm going to see I like that better, because then you get to decide the depth of the color that you put on your eye, so you can wear it as a more sheer color, and you know, decide how deep you want it to be in the transition area, or you can deepen it up by applying more. So sometimes I like that better. So we'll just kind of see as we do. What is going on here? So we'll just see as we do this tutorial how they end up working out as we put them on the eyes. Okay, so my first time doing a look with a palette is always the hardest to decide what to actually use, especially since there's so many beautiful things. Definitely going to save the neutrals for my 3 looks 1 palette, because I like to always do a neutral look with that, just to kind of show you guys that that is possible to do even with a colorful palette. Now I'm just looking for a fluffy brush. I think I'm going to start with the yellow. This is Aya, and I'm just going to put that in the transition area. So that looks really good as a transition color, even though it goes on a little lighter. Let's see if we can, I don't want to build that up too much because I think I'm going to like that just kind of in the distance of this look, just to have a little yellow peek out there. So you can definitely build it up some. Then you can also get that lighter, sheerer look if you want that as well. And for that, I use the Morphe 441, and then for the crease color, I'm going to use my Wet n Wild P15. This is one of my favorite brushes for the crease color. Yes, I did accidentally dip into green a little bit there, but that'll all get figured out. Okay, I think what I'm going to do next is I think I am going to use the green. Actually, maybe I'm going to use this burgundy. I think I'm going to use this burgundy in the crease. So this is called Bintu. So let's just see how this looks. Oh, that shows up really good. So I'm just going to put that just in the crease. So you can see how this brush is kind of pinched. It just allows me to really get it and focus it on that crease area. If I build it up just a little with what's left on the brush, I can create a gradient there with that yellow just peeking out. You know, I'm kind of finding that while I absolutely love the Juvia's Places palettes, some of them do lack a deeper color to put in the transition area. And I don't care what shade it is, I just would like to have like a really deep color, not transition, into the outer V. When I do my 3 looks 1 palette, I may end up pulling in like a brown or a black or something that everyone's gonna have, just to kind of give some depth to it. But for this look, I think I'm gonna take, I don't know. I think I'm going to bring Bintu around the V and then deepen that up a little bit with this. It's kind of like a purple shimmer Contonu. So I'm just going to build a little up right there, and I just have like a fluffy little brush. We'll see how much we can build this color up. That's not too bad of a darker shade, but if you build it up. So we washed it out a little bit in the crease. Look at how you can get 2 different shade tones just from how much you use of it. I do really like that about matte colors. And then I'm just going to top it with a little of that darker purple color, Contonu. For this look, I'm going to take Fifi, which is this burgundy shimmer color, and I have noticed that with Juvia's Place palettes, it is always a good idea to put something of a little sticky base down with your shimmer color. So I'm going to go ahead and use the NYX pigment primer and just put that on my lid, where I'm going to put Fifi, and then I will also spray it as well. So this is what I'm using here. NYX pigment primer. The glitter primer works great too. I'm just using a little lip brush, and I'm going to give that a spray. That is really pretty. This reminds me of that color that I just had in my favorite colors of eyeshadow palettes, and the one from the Dose of Color Hidden Treasure palette. Okay, then I'm going to go back in with my Wet n Wild brush and that bin 2, the burgundy color, and just kind of place that down right in the crease. And build that up a little bit more around that outer V, and the same thing with that purple, just to build that back up some. And blend those together horizontally. That's really pretty. And let's do a little more yellow. Make sure it's peeking through. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do the lower lash line now, and then I'll finish up the other side. So I'm gonna take just a little smudger brush and bin 2. Bring that all the way across. And then I'm actually going to take a pencil brush with the yellow. And I'm going to bring that yellow all the way across too, but more to wash all of that out. All right, so here's the eyeshadow look. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other eye and be right back. So before I do liner and mascara, I do want to put this angelique color in the inner corner. Take a little tiny brush. Looks like it's gonna be really pretty. This one might need a little fixing spray actually. But that is a really pretty inner corner highlight. Okay, let me go ahead and do liner and mascara, and I'll be right back to show you the final look. Okay, so this is the final look with lashes, with mascara and liner. I do really like this look. I love playing with a palette for the first time and just kind of like digging in and not really having an idea of what I'm gonna do and just going with my creative juices. So let me just give you kind of my final thoughts on the palette. I really like the palette. I noticed there's not a lot of fallout on either the shimmers or the matte shades. I do like that although they're not pigmented on the first swipe, you can build them up to the tone of pigment that you want them to be. So you can get them to be a more sheer color, use them as a transition, or you can build them up to be a darker color like we saw with the, I used that bin 2 for the crease color and just washed it out, and then I used it on the outer V and really built it up and got a deeper color from it. So I do really like that about shadows, because that kind of gives you a more variety of uses for it. The only thing I would say about this palette that I didn't like is that I wish there was some kind of deeper color in here. I mean, the one thing about that is, you know, you can't always pull in another palette because you've always got a palette with deeper colors, a dark brown or a dark black. So maybe I don't care that there's not one in there, but if that's something you want, that is not in this palette. But so far, I really like all of the colors that I used today. I think that they are really pretty. I don't know that I would say, well, that one. Some of them are more creamy than others. This blue one might be a satin, actually. I don't know if there was any other satin. This one's probably a satin, and this one might be a satin. The other ones are more matte. So I will have a 3 looks 1 palette coming up with this palette, so you'll be able to see more of these colors in use and have a better idea of how they work and what's the best way to use them. And I will be playing with this palette a lot now that I have it, and mixing it with other Juvia's Place palettes or other palettes in general. So yeah, I'm excited that I got this. I think it was a great deal. So before you guys leave today, don't forget to enter that subscriber giveaway. Subscribe to my channel if you are not, like this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!